the next 4 hours, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to cover. We're going to dig down deep. We're going to talk about some very serious matters. On behalf of the Bureau of Justice Assistance, we welcome you to Off the Cuff, which is a Valor program. This is a special program for you today. Hopefully you've read through the programs and saw the information in there. We're not going to give you our bios. It's just not going to happen because we want you to focus in on yourselves. We want you to kind of hit the reset button, and we want to kind of look into a different side of us in law enforcement.
And I want you to think about it. What is your responsibility to officer wellness for yourself, for your partners, for your family? For years and years and years, thousands of officers have gone through this job and seen the things they see and done the things they've had to do, and then somehow miraculously go home and not talk about it. We need to look within ourselves, because there's a sobering number. Last year, 134 officers died in the line of duty. That includes car crashes, cardiac issues, and assaults. But 228 officers took their own lives. Think about that for a second. If you look in the mirror, you are potentially more dangerous to yourself than the people that you train about in officer safety. We can teach you how to kick in a door. We can teach you how to pin, pan, push, and do all that stuff. But now we need to teach you how to protect you from yourself.
This job, you may not die in the line of duty, but this job can still kill you if you don't take care of yourself.
If you're ever struggling with a job, struggling with a call, struggling with life, maybe you can take a little bit of a nugget of wisdom from my experience. Maybe it'll help. So for me, the first thing that I needed to do, the first thing that I had to do was talk to my wife. I know this is kind of a hot topic for most officers. We typically don't want to talk to our significant other about the job for a variety of reasons. They won't understand. We don't want them to know about the toxic environment that we work in. We don't want to wear on them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying you have to paint the scene in blood or give them all the details, but please talk with your significant others. At least let them know when you're struggling with life or with the job. They might think the problem lies with them or there's a problem in the relationship. Please let them know when you're struggling, even if you don't want to give them the details. Number two, I sought out men and women that I trusted on the job who had been in similar circumstances, and I talked with them about it. What's that old saying, misery loves company? Sometimes it would help me to commiserate with my partners, to hear from someone who had been in similar circumstances, to know that I wasn't alone in the way that I felt. Number three, sometimes you have to go and talk to a professional. I found a good psychologist, and I spent a lot of time talking to him, not just about that call, but talking about life in general and the where of the job. And if you've never talked to a professional, they have a way of getting to the heart of the matter pretty quickly to help you deal with it. Number four, time. Talking with people, seeking out help, and then some time. Giving myself a little bit of grace and letting time pass has made this much, much easier to deal with. So when this happened, I was left with a pretty nasty wound. Not a literal wound, but a figurative wound. And it healed over time. And I'm left with a scar. It's faded, but it's there. It'll never go away completely. And to be honest with you, I don't want it to go away completely. That scar reminds me of the tremendous good that I'm capable of, the tremendous not so good that I'm capable of. It reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, what this job takes from us. This job takes from us. Sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. You don't get to pick the call, ladies and gentlemen. The call picks you. The last thing that my scar reminds me of is that it's okay not to be okay.
And whether you believe it's a problem or not, I promise you it is. The numbers show it is, and it's a problem. And if you are thinking about suicide, you are probably very normal, and people sitting next to you are too.
Recently, we've noticed that all the attention in shootings go to the shooter, but maybe not the person who wasn't able to pull the trigger or get it off. and that a critical incident affects more than just the person on the trigger. Critical incident is more than just a shooting. It's the house fire, the dead child, the things that we see. So I think it's incumbent upon each of us to have the bravery to go up to our supervisors and say, listen, I'm not right now, and I need some time, I need some space. And I think it's incumbent upon our leaders to accept that and have a process in place.
So here's the deal. Even if you take nothing else out of my comments this morning, just walk out of here knowing 3 things. First is that your health and safety are paramount. You need to go home at the end of your shift. Therefore, we need to keep you as safe and healthy as possible in order to increase the probability of that happening. Second, you are never, ever alone. Even if it feels that way, or if it feels like you've hit the bottom, maybe it's drinking or finances or something else, just know that there are many people that care about you, there are resources available to help you, and that you are never alone. And finally, third, and this is an important one, if you work for me in the Baltimore County Police Department, you will not lose your job for asking for help. And if just one person who otherwise might not have been comfortable seeking help actually seeks it, then this is all worth it.